Howdy doody, everybody. How are we all? Hopefully, everybody is doing fine. Um, Beautiful weekend. It's nice and warm. We're all melting away here slowly. Um, yeah, what can we say? Joys and fruits of summer. Down here, down in the land of down under and lands of floods and fire. Okay, I'm going to go around and say a quick hello to everybody and we'll get on with the show, eh? Okay, let me navigate my way around this at the moment. I'll just have a quick look in the participants. Of course, there's a few more coming in. Me again, of course, I'm on the front. I believe Wigwag was the first again. He's got the cookie again. Man, you're gonna get fat. You know that? You are really gonna get fat. Boxcar Jerry, how are you? Jean Ricard, Jim Tedesco, nice to see you in here. Joe Raider, how are you? John Koful, how are you? Possum Bio, Race Fair, nice to see you in here. Randall Ellison, Rick's Railroad, Stormy Skies. It's all right, just go to the participants. So Wigwag gets a second mention, I suppose. And Anthony Dodge, my great, fantastic co-host on the side. Rick's Railroad, how are you? Yeah, it's been an interesting week. G'day, High Bowling Hodges. Actually, it's good, it's here. Now, just give you guys a heads up, I'm waiting on a phone call. It's a phone call none of us want. So I may need to drop off and hopefully my buddy here will take over the stream. If anyone knows what's been going on, watch my streams the last couple of weeks, you know that things are not the best at the moment and it's going to hopefully it is going to be a sad ending in the next couple of days. So, Gerard, how are you? Yep. Okay. So, okay, let's bring him up.
I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah. I saw what you were doing. Sorry, I'm wearing a safety gear, guys. I've just been throwing a lot of crap on me this week, so I'm just protecting myself at the moment. So, so I'm just playing it safe, you know, with the OHS.
You need one of those big Aussie Outback hats, you know, because that's a lot of drop bear shit hitting you right now.
Yeah, well, this has been approved.
That doesn't protect your shoulders.
It doesn't? Well, bummer. Well, some rude took mine, so here. I just got to get what I want. So, another thing is, I'm going to try to bear it in here as long as I can. We are expecting 98 degrees here today, and I don't have AC in this back room. So, hopefully, everybody's well. I will actually have a discussion with you later. It's been a crazy week. Hopefully, if he's going to be a real good guy, hopefully he's going to do my stream next Sunday. Because this coming week, I am going to be tied up. I am heading up to... G'day, Levi.
You're going to be tied up? What kind of a club are you going to?
Not in the way that you're thinking, okay? I'm going to be leaving for Brisbane Tuesday morning my time, so to everyone that I normally go into streams and everything else, I will apologise in advance. Personal issues are going to have to take precedence over the next week or two. G'day, Richard. How are you, buddy? Daryl, how are you? Nice to see you in here. So, please, everybody, do not take offence to it. Just don't, you know. I think I did say g'day to you, Boilermaker Rick. G'day to you.
Hey, Richard's here. Hi, Richard. And Ian and Jerry and Kyle and Rick and Jim Tedesco, Jean Ricard, hello, Derailed Daryl, and all the people I didn't say hi to in the chat, Kyle and Randall and Possum Bayou and Andy, the hot dog pilot. You're up late, my friend. Stephen at Wigwag Workshop, and let's see, Joe Rader is here. Dale, the highball and hogger, nice to see you too. I'm sorry, I'm just going through this, and we do want to engage everybody in the chat, don't we?
Oh, we do. We try, but you know, I had the great educational system here in of New South Wales, and they didn't really teach us how to read fast. So I do apologise for that and blame that on my education system. But it'll be what it will be, I suppose, eh? But then again, I've got to say this much. It can be a bit tricky at times because I do know how to read in 3 different languages too, you know, so...
Just not English.
Yeah. Well, I do speak English. I do read English, but it's gets challenging, you know, when you really got to look at the words and whatnot. Okay, serious. I'll be right back. Yeah, he's going to get his secret stash of cookies. And look what he done the other night. I was hoping to get a cookie with me. That was on someone's stream, and I missed out on it. He took it. G'day, Chris. Go be. How are you?
Hey, Chris is here. Hi, Chris.
No. It's not cross-playing as a village people. It's just that I've been throwing a bit of crap this week, and the drop bears are protection from the drop bears from throwing things from up above. So, yeah.
Artie's got a date later, and this is how she asked him to dress. Okay.
Yeah. Now, was it that one or was it the other? Oh, I forgot. It's one of the girls around the neighbourhood anyway. And no, they don't play jingle bells when they walk down the street either. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw an invite for some that want to come in. I took the plunge this week into the deep black hole of modeling this week, and
you went N scale. No,
that's the dark side.
My apologies to all N scale people. It was just a joke that came at the time.
Yeah, that's the dark side. I've just gone into a black hole.
Well, you don't get much darker than a black hole.
Oh, you want to make a bet? YMCA for that date. No, Possum Bayou. No. Not going to YMCA. All our YMCA's been closed, actually. Here they call them PCYC. G'day, Les. How are you, buddy? Nice to see you in here as well.
Hey, Les, how are you?
Seen someone that I missed in here. You guys just going so quick. And g'day to everybody else that's on the side. There's a little bugger there.
What's going on, mate?
Hey, Richard, how are you, buddy?
Richard, how you doing?
Good, mate. How are you? I haven't been on for a while. Thought I'd better show up and say hello.
Yeah, well, that's only because it takes you 2 weeks to sober up.
Yeah, I did have a few beers last time, didn't I?
Last night? What? Haven't you stopped drinking since New Year's Day?
No, I've stopped drinking. I had a few beers last night. But,
Hey, Artie, how do you tell when an Australian's sober?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
When they start making sense.
Well, that's true, actually, yeah.
Well, I thought it was more along the lines of an Aussie being serious.
Maybe serious? Come on.
Yeah, so yeah, it's actually, I'll show you. I'll show everybody before I get to bring the other two mugs on. I gone and bought myself something.
Hey, so what's the go with the work gear anyway, Artie? You going back to work or what's the go?
Yeah, I'm working. I'm doing construction, you see.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah. 3D printer.
Ah.
The joys of this is I can set it to go and I can do other work around the place.
Have you been on that Thingiverse yet?
Yeah, I've been on that, yeah. So this is what I mean. I've gone into the dark hole of model railroading.
Which model is that, Artie?
Which
it's
model?
The Ender, it's the Creality Ender what?
It's an Ender 3.
Okay. I bought the Ender 5, which was supposed to be the upgrade of the Ender 3, and yet people that have both say the Ender 3 is still better. I should give mine to my daughter and buy an Ender 3.
The only thing that I find annoying is trying to set the bed up. At the moment, I'll just put it up. I'm printing up a couple of containers. I want to have them open up the top. And I find they're going to be handy to have to store little bits and pieces that I'm doing around on the layout. I have created. Where are these things? Okay. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing, and it's an interesting way of modeling. But in some cases, I find what I normally would do, it is actually slow to what I normally would do. Hang on, let me change my camera. Or let me change my face again. Yeah, so
Sorry,
that one's
5-yard penalty.
But like that, some of the prints would take, for example, where is it?
Aren't you hot in that work shirt?
Yeah, that was the one that you left behind last time you were here. Like I've got this building here, which is a restaurant for the park that I'm going to have on the layout. But this talks something like about with the interior. Now let me bring it up.
Did you design that, or was that on one of the slides?
No, they've got that from Thingiverse. It's you've got the interior done on it, but I want to modify the interior. I'm going to do another one, but to do this and the roof took me about 8-9 hours. Where the old generic way. G'day, Ohio Steam. How are you, bud? It would have taken me 3 hours to do by plastic.
Yeah.
The old knife setup. But the joys was I can actually let this do while I was cleaning up the room. And the other thing I've got to do is remember, don't touch the base.
Oh, yeah.
When it's printing, because
No.
you can see here it's actually moved it out a little bit.
Yep, it gets off a bit.
Yeah, so I've got to redo it again.
Hey, Artie, you've got a little thing saying this is an example of a banner. Click on the banner. That's showing up. Can you drop that?
How do I do that?
It's your stream.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Woohoo! Done it.
Librarian. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Conan's little brother.
Yeah, so I've done that. My test print, I'm quite pleased with myself. The test print was the Chinese
Human Steel. Yep, the cat. I printed off a few of those, and now Kyan has them.
Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more. I've now learned how to scale them up. I want to do a bigger one, especially since it's becoming a Chinese New Year at the moment, and it's going to be the year of rabbit. But I'm so happy how I did this, and that's a thanks to the help of the plumber. That's thanks to the. G'day, Chris. G'day, John and Randall and Christopher.
Hello.
And everybody pay attention because Artie wants to show you his little pussy on screen.
Yeah, well, is there any time you see? Hey, Peppy, how are you? Yeah, I don't always show my pussy on screen, but here's my little pussy.
Gee, it's a bit pale. Too much sunlight.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what it gets. That's what happens.
Thank you, Mrs. Slocum.
Hey, that's my first 20-foot container. It didn't come up too bad.
That looks all right.
Yeah, that came out nice.
I let this print when I went to bed, but the thing was, the printer paused because the computer went to sleep. So I've got this little blob here now.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a bad thing. Still can be used.
No, these are all first prints. It's not so those are coming out great. See, mine come out, I keep getting that warp on the bottom, and I go through all the adjustments they tell me, and I still get, as it builds up, the very bottom warps anywhere from 1 millimeter or 2 to 5-6 millimeters sometimes.
I found even on mine, I noticed there is a little bit of warp on the base. But I managed to fix it up a little bit because the actual bottom plate seems to sink into the bottom because there's no real support under it when it gets hot.
Oh, you free, Captain Peacock?
I'm
free.
Hey, ANC, how are you, buddy?
Hey,
nice to see
Eric,
you
how
here.
are you?
Who did I miss? Ohio Steam, yeah. What did you see him? Lehigh, how are you, buddy?
You missed me.
I didn't miss you. I did say hi to you.
Yeah, but you still missed me.
Thomas, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you in here. And Cole Stevens. Yeah, I'm getting there. So yeah, that didn't turn out too bad, and I want to keep the tops open on some of these. Because then I can fill them up with the crap as I'm constructing my layout, and I find them going to be a good storage bin. Of course, impatient me, when it was finished, of course, nobody was telling me, or that's something that plumber didn't tell me, is you got to let the base cool off before you start trying to take your print off. Because while the base is hot, the thing may come off. But yeah, I'm doing all right with it, and I did do some buffer stops as well.
I got a ton of those, except Kyan snagged them all.
Oh yeah.
Now I did do something different. Is it here? No, she's at the front, but looks
Hey, Dwight Curley, how are you? Your friend is having a problem with the print right now. It's shifting, and I don't know what to tell her what to do. All right. Can I answer Dwight's question real quick?
Yeah.
And I'm sure anybody else's 3D experience, I think Jim Tedesco is a big 3D printer here too. Usually if it's either you've got too tight a gap that the nozzle's actually bumping it, or the whole thing is moving, and you can buy this stuff. It's 3D print glue. You put it on the base and the whole thing's in place and keep it from shifting like that.
Hi, Jim.
The first two corrections.
Hi, get ready.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Jean Ricard, how are you? Christopher, are you working on the Lancaster?
I am indeed, yes. Here it is.
Oh, hang on.
Oh God, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the old Airfix one.
Are you doing the Aussie version, or is that the British version?
This is a British captioned one. This is going to be Guy Gibson's Danbuster Lancaster.
I've got to say they're beautiful aircraft, and the most amazing thing is they actually got 4 engines. Now, well, I can't remember whether they were off the Spitfire, or were they off the they had 4 Spitfire engines.
Yeah, 4 Merlins, yes.
Yeah.
Same Spitfire, Hurricane, and Mosquito had 2 of them, and
Yeah.
Wasn't the
Yes.
Merlin engine actually a pretty common engine to use in all Allied planes?
It was very common in a lot of them, yes. The P-51 Mustang used it. Obviously, the Americans built. Lots of Spitfires, lots of Hurricanes, even Beaufighters, Halifaxes. Yeah, you name it. It probably had a Merlin in it at some point.
Another lucky month there on the far side. G'day, Daryl. How are you, buddy?
Hey,
Hi, Matt.
Good evening, everybody.
Howdy.
They
evening,
did
Daryl.
manage to. There is a static display of the Australian Lancaster bomber at the War Memorial, and they actually taken it out to do a bit of work on it because she was starting to rot away and whatnot with a bit of cancer and whatnot, a bit of decay. But what they've done is they removed it, but now she's got a new enclosure.
Oh, nice.
With a lot of other fighter planes and whatnot that was part of the Australian military history, basically.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, that's G. George, I think, isn't it? I think that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was the Airfix box art for a number of years on one of their kits.
Airfix did some beautiful models. What could possibly go wrong? Anything can be going wrong. Nothing scripted here. Kyle Stevens.
Anything goes here, man.
Yeah, well, and what's that? Common cause. Nozzles too tight on the model. Yes. Not enough room to lay. Yes. Oh, the PLA. Sorry, and the model moving on the base. Well, I've got clips to do that. Yeah. I'm trying to tie it down, but I mean, yeah, they wouldn't let me use the rope. Let me see if I'm here in the chat. Any questions?
I
have a
you go, man.
story. I have a question for the guys with 3D printers. I can understand why you get more, especially when you want to make a special model of something. But I find the difficulty to see the purpose of printing containers. I think you can cheaper from companies, whereas if you want to make a building that you cannot get, you will definitely have the joy of a 3D printer.
What's that stuff there, Anthony?
This is what I was talking about. This is called Magic 3D printing adhesive. This is considered pretty good stuff.
So it's
And
like
you just put that on. You put that on the baseboard when you're printing, and then the model won't ship. This is especially true if you're making really big or really tall models, 3D prints. That the nozzle can, as the 3D, as the plastic starts to harden and grab, it can sometimes pull and shift, especially if the nozzle's too close and you're not giving enough room for it to lay the plastic down. But you can put this down, and it cleans right up with soap and water, hot soap and water, if you have the glass plate like I do. But you can put this on a glass plate. Don't put it on a plastic one, but you should always upgrade to a glass plate if you can, or a metal plate. And but if you could get that name, it's MAGIG 3D printing adhesive, and you can buy that.
Where did you get that from?
I got this on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Now, is that all right with PLA plastic?
Yes. Yeah, it's specifically designed for 3D PLA plastic printing. And all it does is hold it in place. And then I don't know if you're printing with what do they call it? It's been so long since I've done a 3D print where you do just sort of a base before the model prints.
Yeah.
It holds that in place for you, and then the model doesn't shift. Because I had that happen to me a lot in some of my earliest prints, especially big prints where I walk away for a few hours and I come back and all of a sudden the print's moved and you got spaghetti just everywhere because the print moved on it.
Yeah, well, that's something that. What have you been working on there, Richard?
Oh, nothing. But this is I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, that's a resin 3D print of that the Lima base.
The Lima box, yeah.
Yeah, that's a resin print. I don't know if you can do that on your printer, can you? Or not?
Yeah, I will be. Now, I'm going to, when I go to Brisbane this week,
Yep.
Robin is going to show me. Oh, you got it going.
Yeah. There we go.
Still needs a bit more work, but yeah, she's a runner.
Cool.
Yeah. Richard, you can you can do what you had with a PLA 3D printer, but it won't be the quality that you get with the resin. But you could do that with a 3D printer. It just won't be as. That's what resin print gives you. It just gives you finer details, and especially with smaller stuff.
Well, you notice there, the pilots I made for the. I just pinched a few of these and made some pilots for it. I got to make it a bit better though, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
when Robin shows me the design, how to do design work on the program, because she's into all that with the sign writing and modelling work and whatnot, then I'll be able to do stuff like that for us, and the diaphragms and whatnot. Mine's only PLA, but hey, resin printers are also faster. Well, I believe so, but I can't afford it. The package
expensive.
Yeah, the package that I got from Amazon. I really went off the rails this week. The only 20 minutes from the 3 different Ralph Van spottings. Ralph Van and barbecue. Okay, yeah. Very true, Wigwag. What was I saying? Yeah, with the setup that I got, I actually got a bargain. And I really was seriously looking into getting one so I could get things done, with kits and that. When I looked at the expense,
there's always something you need to finish a kit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that completely.
Yes, Anthony.
It's a television debut. All right, a YouTube debut.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I going? Yeah. The whole setup. Let me show the setup here. They got the print. No, it doesn't already show it. The actual printer itself, the full roll of plastic, the PLA roll, 10 spare nozzles. I got for 295 Australian. Now I did go to JK Electronics because they had a sale on one that actually had a bigger bed than this.
Uh-oh.
And it was about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. 2 inches. Uh-oh. Whoa.
Wrong one.
That's the nightlife in Denmark, everybody. It's always like the nightlife in Berkeley too.
We'll see if he starts snoring.
The price that I got, the price, the one that I was looking at, JK Electronics, it actually had a bigger base. It was enough to do some of the big HO carriages and whatever else you wanted. It just had a bigger base, and that was going for $340. So when I went,
John Ricard, are you seeing it?
What do you got? What are you showing off?
First time running. First time running.
Oh,
nice.
The one that I did the live opening yesterday.
Yeah, I missed that.
Right before Joyce and I went out for dinner. Here, let me bring it off camera or on camera. Separate them. Come on. There'll be time enough for that later. This is a Czech Class 371 locomotive.
Oh, that's nice.
Lovely.
Joyce and I wrote this. This pulls Czech ECs, Eurocity. Eurocity are continental trains that run across multiple countries. Every country has EC cars. And when Joyce and I went from Germany to Prague in the Czech Republic, we rode a Czech EC, which is why I have the model of it. And it was pulled by a Class 371 here. So this is the Acme. It's an Italian company, Class 371. And I have wanted one of these models for about, since 2017. So going on 6 years now. And it's been hard to find one. Well, Acme released one last year. Unfortunately, they only released it in digital 2-rail. And of course, I'm digital 3-rail. And I bought it with the idea that Acme makes 2-rail and 3-rail. Plus, they made another variation of this in both 2-rail and 3-rail. So I figured it would be easily converted to my system. No, not at all. Even though there's another 371, the bodies are not interchangeable, and they did not make the conversion kits for this. And I sent this off to my guy, Andrew Chevalier in Stockton, California. He runs a shop called AC Euro Trains in Stockton, California. And he converted this, but he could not convert the bogies and to hold the shoe. So what he did was he took a passenger car, a first class passenger wagon, and he put the one of the decoders in this and put the ski on this. So these work in tandem. So this has the motor and the drive, and the motor's been converted to AC, but the pickups are in this. And I got it yesterday during the live stream, and right before Joyce and I went out to dinner, because I just came flying in when it started, because Joyce's family talked, and so I started trying to load this in just before I left, and it did load up, but I didn't get a chance to run it. So I was just running it back and forth because Jean Ricard's been asking when will we see it. I'll be doing a video on this and releasing it sometime tomorrow. But I thought, what the heck, train related, and since I rarely do anything train related,
We
have my
are all
beautiful
looking
Czech
so
locomotive, class
forward.
371, and I've been I'm thrilled. It's working. It went into my Central Station 3, and anybody watched my live stream yesterday know I had a couple of major F-ups, and my Central Station 3 was acting up. I was able to get that straightened out. My IC3 apparently is still dead, so I'm going to have to send that out to get fixed, but everything else is okay. But
I've never seen you so serious, Anthony.
yeah, I know. Because I finally got a train I could talk about.
That's all right. That's good.
It's good that it's come on with an option for you to run it on your layout.
Yeah, he's done a lot of conversions for me because there are locomotives that no company makes in AC, and every now and then I buy one and I send it out to him and he converts it for me. Now, really, in most cases, the conversion is something I could probably do myself. You just kind of change a bit of the wiring, change the wheels out if it's DC, because metal wheels on DC locomotives are insulated, and so you got to put non-insulated in them, and you got to add the right pickups and everything to the bogie. And most companies, the German companies, will either have an AC version of the locomotive or conversion kits for it, but sometimes they don't. And this is one where I don't know why Acme didn't, but they didn't, and they made this one almost impossible to convert. You cannot convert the locomotive. You can convert the motor, but the bogies, and you cannot even trade them out. Like I said, they made a red and yellow version of this exact same locomotive, a class 371, and they made it AC and DC, but this one they only made DC, and yet they're two different bogie setups. And Chevalier is a good guy. He's actually one of Pico's major official representatives in North America, and he looked at this, he talked to people, and even people on forums on my European websites were like, you can't convert it. You just cannot convert. If Acme didn't make an AC version, you cannot convert it. And he just came up with a backdoor play, which is just, it's awesome. So I actually have a locomotive that I can show off here and talk about it.
Awesome.
Acme will fix it. We'll fix that.
It's gorgeous. And it finally completes my EC.
Nice. I do have one question. Did it come with a free coyote?
Yeah.
Come with a free coyote. No, sadly, the coyote blew up.
Oh dear.
Hey, yeah, well, the coyote didn't buy the upgrade, did he? He went for the cheaper version.
Indeed. He bought the Acme part, although a Roadrunner was involved.
Roadrunner was involved.
Roadrunner was involved. Roadrunner. Well, the worst thing, of course, is not only did he buy the cheaper, non-upgradable version, but he built a tunnel on his layout, and instead of building the tunnel, he just used paint. And crashed the locomotive right into it.
He's just a glutton for punishment, Anthony.
You gotta know your why. The people really giggling are the ones that know the Wile E. Coyote cartoons and the infamous painted tunnel.
Hey, Serena.
Oh yeah.
But you have a look. The Roadrunner had no issues. It was only him. And you know why? Because Roadrunner bought the upgrade.
True story. There was actually an Acme company that made tools and stuff. And the Wile E. Coyote commercial cartoons cut their business so bad they changed their company name.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. They
actually sued Warner Brothers and lost. Well, who makes Merry Melodies and all that. They sued them, and from what I understand, they lost the case. But yes, there was actually, and a division of that company is still around, Acme Boots.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Acme
yeah,
Boots.
they are. Yeah.
And they're actually high quality boots.
but you look at today. In some ways today, if you get bad publicity or someone creates a bad publicity on one end, the company that's been bagged or whatnot ends up actually growing because of that, because it's not always bad.
Right. You know, it more comes out of the whole actor and performance guild. All publicity is good publicity as long as they spell your name right.
Yeah.
But no, in some cases, businesses, for example, there was an American chain. It's actually still around called Jack in the Box. And in the late 70s, they got busted for using a high level of horse meat and mule meat in their burgers. And when it became public, their sales dropped 70%.
That's not a type of publicity.
They're still around, but they are not nearly the company they used to be.
What's that update project working on? It's a prototype, kind of failed, but I learned a couple of things. Well, that's it. I mean, whenever we do something, we learn from mistakes that we do. Like as I just showed with that construction of that
prototype failed. I learned to pull my fingers out quicker.
Well, yeah. The question, did it hurt?
Not anymore.
But tell me.
It hurt when it happened, but it don't hurt now.
But tell me, did you go this way? Or did you go that way?
I went the Aussie way you showed me.
Oh, that way. No wonder.
No. The one that goes through. Never mind.
Now, we used a whole fist for that one.
Artie, you started off with showing your pussy, and now you're talking about fisting. This show is just...
if it helps, I'm making more drop shelf couplers if we want to get back to the train.
Thank you for
Take care, hot dog.
Here to keep us focused.
Yeah, we are.
As long as he stays awake.
Marty, how are you, bud?
I did not say that.
No. Hey, Marty, how are you, bud? I will get in contact with you later, Marty. Just some things have been full on. I'll get in contact with you later tonight. Sorry about that.
You would have to watch Crossways Point Junction, one of his past streams, to get that joke Anthony just said about me staying awake.
And I promised, and I broke my promise. I promised I was not going to make one joke about it anymore.
No, it's fine, Anthony. I was probably going to bring it up eventually anyway, but
Randall came onto a UK site, and Randall had a long day. What was it, a 14-hour shift day?
Well, the work day wasn't long, but when I got back from work, I actually had to take my dad to the doctor.
Okay, so had a long day, and he came on as a panel guest, but Bernie was yakking away at me and somebody else, and didn't give Randall a chance to talk, and then so all of a sudden, Randall, we're just hearing. And it took us a while to figure out what it was, but Randall fell asleep and was snoring.
Was that Randall?
It was Randall who did that.
Well, I mean, I was just sitting there just enjoying the conversation, just kind of laying there listening. Next thing I know, Anthony's calling me on Facebook saying, you fell asleep during the stream. And I was like, oh, crud.
Well, that's where I really feel bad, although I just got to stop and say this is an awesome angle for Daryl's layout. This is really cool.
Oh, wow, Daryl, that's nice.
This is not the usual view that I've seen when I see Daryl on screen. This is really cool. So, Daryl, if you're hearing us, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much, Anthony. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah,
we can't hear you.
Yeah, I just set up some new cameras, but it's not like yours, Anthony, but I'm just trying to give a little bit of a different view of my layout, because
if I had a layout that looked like this, I'd have all 13 cameras pointing at this one angle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
can kind of see trains.
No, I
coming.
like that shot, Daryl. That looks good.
Thank you.
That's why I have 13 cameras. So all the images of my ladder are so small you can't see there's nothing on it.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
There's 2 cars.
No, I'm going to save it till later. I'll do it tomorrow.
Because Jean, he always says, "Hey, Daryl, go. I like your water. I like your water one the best." So I got a camera on the water area, and then got a camera on me, and then I got a camera in another area. So it looks like I figured out the problem with the glitching. So Anthony, so what happened is I got the 3.0 extension cable.
Yes.
And what was happening is I was going into people's live streams. The glitching was taken care of, but there was an echo and there was a clicking noise. So we all figured out it was me. So as soon as I took that one off and I just plugged the camera in, it was gone. So what I ordered was 2.0 extension cables.
That shouldn't have been the cause, but
yeah, and that totally took care of the problem. Took care of everything.
Because normally, if you
I'm not getting glitching, and you guys aren't hearing echo or clicking, are you?
No,
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah,
echo is almost always mic related.
Okay.
Echo is almost always mic related. That you forgot to turn off one of the mics.
Yeah,
But,
no, I've got it into.
I mean, it is possible that if you, I mean, how long did you get? Did you get a 30-foot, a 25-foot, what?
No, these are 20-footers.
Okay, because sometimes length can matter, but yeah, that's weird that it would have created clicking and that with the cable, unless the cable had something wrong with it.
Well, it could be, Anthony, but that 3.0,
yeah.
I mean, I did exactly because I asked you and you suggested
right.
Yeah, and it took care of the glitching on the camera, but in everybody's stream I get into, automatically they're saying, okay, who's got the echo? And I keep saying everything shut up on my end. And so when I unplugged it and just plugged the mic into the into the board, everything was fine. So I decided to jump down to a 2.0 because my stepson who lives in the house, he is guru on what's that thing you guys use, the free version?
OBS.
OBS. Yeah. He does full-blown OBS for twitching. So he told me, he says it could be a possibility the 3.0 is a high-speed cable.
Yes.
And it's not enough power pushing through that cable. So jump down to a 2.0. So that's what I did. I jumped down to a 2.0 cable. Boom, took care of it.
I hadn't heard that one, so kudos to your son. But because normally if it's a 3.0 cable and a 1.0 camera, the cable is not going to pull any more power.
Exactly.
Than the camera sends it. Usually, sometimes somebody gets a 30-foot cable, but it's a lower brand cable, and 30-foot is wrong because you have entropy and you lose signal along the length.
Yeah, but also remember, he also told me, he says these are 1080p cameras, and he looked at the at the base of well, it's only, he says you can only do 720p. So why are you using 1080p? He said that could be a problem.
Your camera could only do 720, but you're trying to do 1080 with it?
No. My cameras are 1080p's, but StreamYard is only 720p.
Right.
So would that make a difference?
Nope.
No, just
if you're sending 1080p, if you're sending 1080p into StreamYard, StreamYard automatically condenses it to 720. So
right.
Okay.
All right. So Anthony, in your defense, and you're absolutely 100% right, because if you're using a power tool and you use a 12 gauge extension cord versus a 20 gauge, it's going to work the same. The only problem is the 20 gauge is going to heat up.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. I mean, I have all my cameras are on 3.0.
Yeah,
the one problem that might have led to this, if you plugged a 3.0 cable into a 1.0 or what they now call 2.0, but originally was white and black used to basically both be called 1.0. Now white is 1.0 and black is 2.0, and it gets ridiculous. But it used to be white and black were both 1.0. But if you're plugging, let's do color. If you're plugging a blue into a white or black slot USB, then that would create the problem. A 3.0 cable has to go into a 3.0 slot.
Oh.
2.0 will eliminate some of those problems. But if you put a 3.0 cable into a 1.0 slot, depending on now, again, if you're doing 2.0, it's probably not an issue. 3.0, it can be a problem because that wants to shove a lot more power in through that slot than the slot can handle. But again, that shouldn't be a factor. It shouldn't be a factor if the camera's a 1.0. But it seems that might be it if your son said go down to a 2.0 because the cable was trying to pour more juice into the slot than the slot could handle.
Yeah, it's a possibility. So
exactly, Jim. That's you're saying it quicker and easier than I am, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So as long as it's working, it's fine. So I would have thought the same thing. You're just taking a 20 gauge extension cord and raising it to a 12 gauge, which is thicker wire. So I don't see what the difference would be, but it works. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I don't like giving people advice and it not working. That's why I rarely give advice unless I'm pretty certain, but that's the only option I can come up with, especially. And again, it depends on, there's so many factors, age of the computer, the motherboard, there's so many little things that factor in, but normally a 3.0 cable should not have been the cause. But if you're using a very new 3.1, 3.2 cable, and
But that's it makes sense what you said. If you're plugging something in that doesn't belong, that kind of makes sense.
Right.
And he said, hey, you want to solve this whole problem? I'll set you up OBS. I'm like, no, I'm fine doing StreamYard. I'm very fine doing StreamYard. If I can just switch on a camera on a different angle, that's great. Like I've done tonight, I've got three cameras, and I can switch them off, and I'm happy with that. But Anthony, thank you for your help. Really.
Well, it wasn't any help because your son had to solve it, not me. But thank you.
I mean, that's why at work with IT advice, we teach is that working? You go, yeah, that should work. We never say it will work because give ourselves some wiggle room. Just in case.
I have 10 cameras on 3.0. I have 10 cameras on 3.0 cables.
Okay. And really, I mean, I remember you said, Anthony, you started off with a laptop computer. Yep. Were you using 3.0 and all those as well?
No, when I started, I had 3 simple cameras and was plugging them into the 3 USB slots. And that laptop is right here. And this does not have any 3.0 bits into it.
Okay. All right.
And then I got a new, and when I decided to go with 5 cameras and this laptop wasn't handling it, I bought myself a gaming laptop, an Acer Nitro, and I was able to get up to about 7 cameras. But when I started using the GoPro, I had problems, and that had a couple of USB slots, but again, only had 3. So I bought powered USB ports, USB hubs, which were 3.0. And I was having a little bit of issue because I was trying to pump so much information through those little, but it did have 2 USB 3 ports in it. But I was still trying to pump way too much information. And that's why I now have King Kong down here. I'll just call it Frankenstein. It is my Frankenstein.
Yeah, he built his own. He bought a gaming computer, but then he tore it all apart and added more power and more everything. He built it himself. Yeah. So.
Yeah, this one down here, I built myself. Just brought the components separately. And
hey, Waycross Train Spotter. Let me answer that question for you. Anthony's got the answers today, except I didn't have the answers for Daryl, but there it is. Okay, there are copyright claims and copyright strikes, and first of all, you don't care about copyright claims remotely at all unless you're monetized. The only time you can get a copyright strike is if you are playing, like you have a pay site, even a sponsored site, and you're doing a video and you're playing like the Beatles or the Who in the background and asking people to give you, that's where you'll get the copyright strikes. Copyright strikes, which are bad, are when you are playing somebody's music while you are making money and you don't have the right to use it. Otherwise, it's a copyright claim because you don't have the right to use their music, period. But all they do is block your monetization. Joyce and I have 30 parody songs on YouTube, and in several of them we're using the actual original instrumentation from the group where just the vocals have been removed, and we get copyright claims, but we've never gotten a copyright strike. So unless you're monetized and want to make money on it, and even in our case, they just take away the monetization. I don't get a copyright strike. So don't worry about that unless you're trying to make money. Where you get copyright strikes is where you claim it's your music and it's somebody else's, or you're performing it and trying to make money without having licensed it. That's where you'll get the big trouble. Otherwise, I've got 31 copyright claims on my parody song videos, but also the original Matt Clark Series 1 theme song. Somebody put a copyright claim on it. My original series, the Model Train Outsider Show. And this is the one I tried to fight YouTube with. I got a copyright claim on that one from some Canadian university group that just goes around claiming they're protecting music. The person specifically gave me permission to use that song. They performed it for me. I played it, and these people put a copyright claim on it. And YouTube said, take them to court. We're not involved. So I could go onto any of your channels and copyright claim something, and YouTube just automatically gives me the win, and then you have to go fight them in court. But again, don't worry about that. So the thing is, again, the other thing you can get copyright strike for is if you play an entire song and you're supposedly analyzing it. But again, if you're a paid site, but if you're going to talk about it and even play an excerpt from it, you might get a copyright claim where you can't monetize it, but otherwise don't worry about it. Sorry to take so long, but that's a great question to help.
Good night, Thomas.
Good night, Thomas.
I'm still waiting for my payment, buddy, pal. For the music that you used, Anthony.
What music of yours did I use?
All of them. I wrote the songs.
I told you we got rid of that stuff that sounded like a howling banshee. Yeah, I mean, the worst stuff on my channel now is my singing, which is really bad enough. And that should be used as corporal punishment for YouTube people. But that's why we really try to encourage Joyce to sing.
Hi, Steve87. How are you, champion? Hopefully you're doing
John Ricard,
well.
your mic's not working.
No.
Jean, your mic's not working.
No wonder it's been so peaceful and quiet.
Sign language?
You take the little microphone and you stick it in the microphone port, and then you are able to talk. And he's gone.
Hey, you might have to reset. You might have to reset his. Oh, good night, Pappy. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Nice to see you again.
Two copyright claims. Well,
Good night,
I wish
Pappy.
it was only two. Because I've had one of my songs got 1,000 views and would have made me about $5, but it got 1,300 views by Joyce singing. And then Joyce posted one of her songs that's on my channel, but she posted it also on her channel, and it got 1,000 views with a copyright claim.
Yeah, but she's better looking than you.
She is.
Of course she should get me.
I freely admit that. I freely admit that.
You know, if you ended up having a shave and put one of those wigs on, you would have been right.
And then I look like what you do.
Bloody hell. What's this channel come to? Cross-dressing, YMCA? What the bloody
Dude,
hell?
we started there. We've only gone downhill.
Oh, no.
And we're still going
I'm
down.
sorry. Artie, I got to be fair. You started this live stream before I became your co-host. Since I became your co-host, this live stream has done nothing but go downhill.
Oh,
Now, mind you, it started in the Bay already, but I took us 20,000 leagues under the sea.
Well and truly. Nobody knows how deep the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean is. I mean, it's very deep water there.
Indian Ocean isn't that deep, Artie. I've had a couple of talks with it. It really isn't that deep. It's actually rather shallow when you get down to it. Only thinks about itself. And...
Well, you guys just missed it a minute ago. One of my cars took a spill off on the floor while I was in the package.
No, that's
no damage though.
No, this is not my evening wear. This is the hot bloody weather wear.
That's his bare poster wear.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the one that took the midnight ride off the table.
Oh, we're about to hit 98 degrees here today, Steve. So,
all right, Randall, you're up. What you got? Quick, time.
Well, I just made these couplers for these hoppers that I reviewed here a while back. So these are the Worcester and Western 2970 2-bay hoppers, and they came in a 3-pack. So there's one road number. There's road number 2.
Good night, Gerard. Take care, bud.
And
all right, Gerald. Good night.
There's road number 3 right there. And I kind of had to change my camera position because it's right here in front of this gas stove, and it was starting to get hot, and everything was glitching. So,
hey, Randall, I got some hoppers here that I can't use on my layout anymore. Do you want them?
Sure.
That's very true, Randall. He's turning them into kits. Yeah.
No, I'm just taking out the McHenry couplers and putting KDs on them. So.
Sorry, John. That yeah.
I want you to look at them first. So you know that they're the right brand. That they're useful to you. But I got like 3 hoppers right here right now.
All right. How often do I need to feed them, Anthony?
Artie to put me on screen so you can see. There. Can you use these?
Yeah. How often do I need to feed them, Anthony? Are they big eaters?
No, not big at all.
Nah, they'll
right,
eat
cool.
whatever you got outside. Yeah.
I've interrupted these two.
Are they house trained though too?
Are they house trained? Yes, they are trained. They go in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. And eat anything that's green.
Yeah. And they jump out in front of you when you're driving a car at the last minute.
Yeah.
First you say it, then
well,
you
I mean, we have deer to do that, so that's not a big deal.
It's like deer. You're driving down the road, and all of a sudden a deer jumps out. First you say it, then you do it.
Uh-huh.
Well, you see, the deer that are here in Australia, they're actually quite intelligent. And they'll sit on the side of the bank of the road, eating off the cliff or the bank, and they'll just sit there because they know nobody's going to go after them. And it's as if they know. And they know that.
Deer.
Also, they know there's no guns around here, so they know they're safe.
That's an oxymoron.
Not unless you get seriously hungry, Artie, and go and borrow that Lancaster. Then you could really get a load of deer in one go.
Ooh.
Barbecued as well.
All in one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've had barbecued deer meat. It's really good.
Deer nuggets.
I did have a friend that tried that once in 95. Something like that. He tried to do barbecue deer, but he overdid it a bit, him and his mates. They burnt down nearly close to 2/3 of the Royal National Park.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they overdid it with the smoking.
There you go.
Just a
You remember that big bushfire, Richard?
Oh, geez, how could I forget?
You know, in the back in the 90s when Helensburgh and all up through that area looked like the moon landscape.
It did. It was pretty bad, actually. Yeah.
Fudge. Okay, we were talking about fudge. Like the Seattle pedestrians. Oh no, these yeah, just as bad, almost as bad as the New York pedestrians too. Yeah. But then the worst time they do come out is morning and evening, as I said before. And yeah, I've taken out plenty of them in my time. The funniest one I ever done was I had this young kangaroo come out in front of me. He didn't know which way to go left or right, but he saw me coming, and all he done was, I'll lay down. And he laid down in the middle. I thought, hopefully he's not going to get up while I'm going over the top of him. I missed him, but I looked in the mirror. Now he's popped his head up and he was like shaking his head. No, he was right.
Oh. I'm all right. I'm all right.
I'm all right, survive. Now I know what to do. Duck and roll.
Yeah. You know, they had a commercial some years back. Anthony probably knows which one I'm talking about, but it's the one where the squirrels are sitting out in the middle of the road and they're waiting on cars.
Yeah, that
and
was
making
one
them
of the
crash.
Geico insurance commercials.
Yeah, that's it.
Was it Geico or was it the other one that now has the woman as their sort of their mascot?
That's good. Yeah. I saw that commercial on the internet the other day, and I couldn't remember which one it was.
Cause the car to swerve, and then they giggle and give each other all the high fives and everything.
Yeah, high fives. Yeah, that was a good one.
Squirrels are smart. They're pesky.
They had some awesome commercials back then.
Joyce has got bird feeders in the yard, and she does all sorts of anti-squirrel things, and they find another way around to get at the bird feeders.
Emu crossing is a paddock. Yep, that too. Yeah. Oh, they can do some damage too. The emus. Oh. But there was a creature. Talking about running over creatures. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, wombats.
No, not one. Oh no, you definitely don't want to hit one of them.
Yeah, they're a tough little bastard.
Oh, they've disabled more vehicles than kangaroos. You hit one of them, they roll over. But down near Port Augusta, which is going across to on this stretch of road when we turn right in Port Augusta, head to Perth. There was these creatures. They had ears of a cat.
Several.
Huh?
Sorry. I was trying to answer Ian's question there. But finish your story quick.
Yeah, and it had a real flat face on it and a smile on it. It wasn't a fox, it wasn't a dog, and it wasn't a cat. But it's always got a smile on its face. But they're popping out in front of me. But when they're looking at me, it was like the smile went straight out of the face. But I can't remember what the creature is now. But I'm like, I mean, it was just so freaky. It just looks at you and like had a smile on it. Next minute, go, oh, crap.
Frilled-neck lizard or what?
Right?
Frilled-neck lizard?
No, it's not a frill-neck lizard. I just can't think of the name of it. It's a furry creature. We don't have them here. They're more in the outback and out towards West Australia.
Bilbies?
Bilbies? No. Bilbies are on the 2 legs. These were on 4 legs. I can't think of the name of them.
Huh?
The head's almost like a fox.
Dingo?
No, not dingo.
But did the dingoes eat your baby?
Didn't eat mine.
Well, it did.
I
It
remember.
took the baby, took it in the bush, and had a barbecue.
I don't even remember what that's from. It's been a phrase for years and years. Dingoes ate my baby.
Yeah, well, that was. Hang on.
I don't know how long we've been doing that one.
Lindy Chamberlain.
That happened with Lindy Chamberlain when their baby went missing out in the outback.
Now there's a tragic true story behind it. Oh.
There is.
Yeah, there is a true story about it, but a lot of people that spend their time out there will.
All humor is based in pain, but now that's tragic.
Yeah. It was in the 80s. Yeah.
Like I said, we've been making jokes about it and phrases. I mean, that was when I was in high school in the very early 80s. That was a line. I think it's even written in our yearbook as favorite catchphrases of the year.
Yeah, well, it still gets used here because a lot of people that's been out there will know that it's not true. You know, she got acquitted. We don't know how, but I mean, I never seen a dingo take off a jumpsuit in perfectly.
Now, crocodiles ate my poodle. I can still laugh at that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, since we're talking about
a Kardashian, that could still be funny.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about roadkill stories, I don't know if I ever told this one or not, but one time I was taking a cruise to Springfield, Missouri, and this was, I think, either in the middle of the night or real early in the morning. Anyway, it's still dark outside, and there were some storms getting ready to move in, and as we left there, excuse me, we left there and got right into coming into West Plains, which is if you're going into West Plains, there's a Phillips 66 station and a Dairy Queen and a taco. What do they call that place? Taco Alarondo's or whatever they call it. But it's right there as you're coming into West Plains. But as I was coming in, I just happened to see out of the corner of my eye, I saw this large raccoon come out of the ditch and ran right in front of me. And it was either hit him or wreck the van. I mean, that was the only two choices: run off in the ditch and wreck the van. And run plumb over the top of him. I said, and you could hear a pretty good thud when you hit him. When we hit him, I said, well, boys, I said, hopefully it didn't just knock the radiator out of this thing. I said, we'll see what happens. And sure enough, we got over there by near a Casey's gas station, just as you're going out of town on the other side. And I just happened to look down. The temperature gauge was pegged on that van. And I said, I believe this is as far as we go. And I wheeled in at that Casey's, and sure enough, it tore the radiator plumb out of that van. So we had we limped it all the way back to near where the Glass Sword Cinema Theater is. And I called my supervisor. I said, yeah, I got some bad news for you. I said, we just hit a raccoon. I said, I believe it just knocked the radiator out of this van. And boy, when that happened, it just started pouring down rain, storming, and everything. So my supervisor come pick me up. We had to ride back I had to ride back with him there, get another van, go get that crew, and then they called a rollback to go get the one that was damaged. So, yeah, that was quite a deal. Did $1,200 worth of damage to that van.
Ouch.
I mean, just tore the radiator plumb out of that sucker.
I just put a link up of a good classic Aussie song that was written by John Williamson, which is a very popular Australian singer and songwriter, country songwriter, and he wrote a song called "The Crocodile Roll." So if you guys ever get the chance to listen to it, you got to listen to it. It's a funny story. Where the dog gets eaten, the wife gets taken, and everything else, and it's like, yeah, I can't play because I know I'm going to get the striking claim for that one. But it's a laugh. I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going to get text.
Okay, but just to kind of finish that, that's the van. Some of you may have heard me say this. That's the van I said was cursed because it would seem to hit everything on the road. It would hit deer and who knows what else. And I jokingly said that van was cursed. I could tell you which van it was because it's long since been retired. The van was a 518-105, and as the story goes, now when they first got this van, they said it didn't even have 100 miles on it, and they hit a deer with it. And tore the front off of it. Then it hit another deer, and then I hit the raccoon. I believe it hit another deer after that. So that thing was probably rebuilt about 4 or 5 times.
Sure. It sounds like a curse.
And I jokingly said that van was cursed, and but it did well. I mean, when they retired, I think it had almost 300,000 miles on it. And it was only about 3 or 4 years old when they retired it.
There we are. No. Oh, Christopher left. Sorry. Good night, Christopher. I missed that.
That kind of tells you how many miles we put on those vans each day. 3-year-old van, they got 300-some thousand miles on when they retire.
Yeah, just to pick up on the conversation Ohio Steam and Steel and Rusty are having there is, at least this part of Ohio, there's no poisonous snakes, and we only have one poisonous spider. We have the brown recluse.
Yeah, we got those too.
Supposedly, black widows are not found in this part of Ohio, in the southern part of Ohio, and then in the northern part of Michigan. But this region, you don't find black widows. Those are there's a couple of smaller breed of poisonous spiders that you might find, but it's very rare. And even black widows, I think in the whole of Northwest Ohio, I think there's like 3 reported bites a year in like the Toledo area. Yeah, we don't have anything dangerous here except other Toledoans.
See here, we got copperheads, cottonmouths. Those are our 2 big poisonous ones. Of course, we got rattlesnakes too.
Right. There used to be rattlesnakes in this region, but they were gone by the 1920s.
Rattlesnakes. That sounds scarier than any Australian stuff.
Oh, I thought you're what is it? The Australian brown snake or whatever? That's much more poisonous than the rattlesnakes.
I suppose it would be, yeah. The brown snake, yeah.
Oh, we got tarantulas too.
And the rattlesnakes at least usually warn you first. Yeah. You know, get away from me, stay back.
Yeah, but if I heard that noise, I'd run very far. Yeah, that's true. So a lot of animals in this country don't really warn you; they just get you. Snakes and stuff. So I'm just trying to reroute some wires in this locomotive. Yeah. Oh, what's the weather like in the other parts of the world? I know it's bloody hot here.
I'll have to look at the temperature here, but it's not in the 90s. I'll guarantee you that. It may be in the 20s by now. But I'll take a look here in just a
The
second.
high today was 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit. That was the high today. It's supposed to start warming up in the next couple of days.
29 degrees.
We usually have a week in January where it can actually get 50 to 65 Celsius, but we also tend to get our biggest snowstorms towards the end of January and into February nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, I just looked. It's 29 right now.
Well, it's 27 degrees here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit or whatever it is, but yeah. Well, I don't know.
We're 25 Fahrenheit right now. So
Fahrenheit.
that's what, about minus 3 or 4 Celsius?
Oh, jeez. Too cold for me.
We're not that far off, Anthony. We're only about 4 degrees warmer than you guys are.
Damn, look at all my YouTube notifications.
All right, got rid of all those McHenry couplers on those cars. That's really the only thing I don't like about these Athearn cars. They put plastic couplers on them. I'm just not overly fond of them.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Yeah, you gotta have decent couplers, that's for sure, Randall.
Yeah, I'll show you guys what these Athearn cars originally had. Right there they are. That's the McHenry couplers.
Yeah.
If you're not pulling long trains with these, if you're not pulling long trains with these, they're all right. But once you get past, depending on the weight of the cars, I found out they're good to about 35, maybe 40 cars, and then then they start succumbing to stress fatigue. So,
well, it also depends on the length and the grades and everything else too. So
yeah. But that when one of these couplers actually broke, that was actually on level track. That was not on any kind of grade or anything. So, and there was probably other factors involved too. The car that it happened on at that time was already 15 years old, so
Hey,
so it may
John,
have played a factor as well.
Take away, buddy. Nice to see you. Yeah, but as Les says, you start poking at things, it's going to get you back. It's going to poke you back. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. It's going to be a crazy place for me here for the next 24 to 48 hours. So
yeah.
What's happening in your place?
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is, people, I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut this short because
That's fine.
I'm expecting another call by the sounds of it very shortly. So,
Okay.
Please, people, forgive me for cutting this stream short. Oh,
Hey,
and
no.
before I go, I'd like to thank all my subscribers that are here and the new ones that helped me get to my 300 subs. I made the 300. So I'm going to keep my promise for the Easter break, where I'm going to do a 24-hour stream.
Sure.
Yeah, a 24-hour.
We'll get plenty of coffee, Artie.
Oh, it's all right. It's not the coffee that keeps you going.
It's the cocaine.
Yeah, I actually made it. I think my last count. Let me have a look at my account. I think my last count was 300 and something. So I made 304. There we go. 304 is my count. So very thank you. I really appreciate everybody for getting me to where I am. I didn't think I was that popular, really. Woohoo! How you supposed to compete with that? Well, Jim, I tell you what, if you're going to show a bit more skin, you might get there. See, I'm showing skin, you see? Oh, see? Yeah, thank you very much, people. I really appreciate it. I'm still going to be the same arsehole as I always been, so I'm not going to change.
Proctologist recommended.
Hey, yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Artie, you forgot to mention, or we shouldn't mention it live. Our one official approval we talked about, that regardless of what anybody else thinks of this channel, you and I got a gold star 9 out of 10 rating from a very impressive source.
Oh yes, we did. We have actually. And not from one, from two.
Two, yes, from two very official sources.
Very official, and they from the medical practice. So we're doing something right. I mean, a lot of us end up coming out of this stream in a happy, chirpy way.
We do a good service.
Yes, and we don't charge for it. It's free.
And we don't charge for it.
Yeah, so
maybe you should.
Again,
I didn't know if you wanted me to mention that, but we talked about it the other day.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, thanks for reminding me on that one. Yeah, but again, from who to go? Yeah, oh yeah. Look,
so for those who don't like our format,
well, let me just whet your appetite here, Nancy, and some of the boys. And
hey, Trackside Mike came in. Hey, Mike, we're cutting it short.
Hey, Mike.
I got Nissy's in here because she'll be really into this one. I've been experimenting with my printing. As you know, I've got the new toy. This is my first attempt of she hasn't been painted yet, so my flasher.
Oh my.
Yeah, she hasn't turned out too bad on the PLA.
No, that's really good for PLA.
She's been brought down in size. She's been brought down in size from a Matchbox car size to
that way, Artie, when you brag about your size, she will actually be impressed now.
Oh yeah.
I will not go down this road.
I have to keep reminding you, we already went down the road, parked.
I know.
And built a house there. And whether you were tied up and locked in the trunk or came along happily, you're there with us.
Well, I always prefer riding in the trunk, so you know.
Well, let's put it this way, Randall. You volunteered by coming in. All right, gents, ladies and gents.
See you guys.
Just hang in there.
Good night, guys.
Just hang in there for a minute, Anthony. Don't go away.
All right. Sure, everybody else gets sleep, but I have to stay after class.
So again, thank you very much, everybody, and stay tuned. And I'll be back when I can. Again, I apologise if I don't see anybody's posts and streams this week because it's going to be a tough week for me this week. So please forgive me, but I will catch up eventually. All right. So good night, goodbye, good afternoon, and have fun and stay safe.
See you guys.
Ciao for now.